Good morning. Wishing you a terrific Tuesday ahead. Welcome to today's episode of Morning Well. We're talking about three things today. Big day for Alzheimer's treatment, making sure Amazon is included in the tax plan, and first ever junk bond sale to buy, you won't believe this, Bitcoin. It was an important day for biotechnology company Biogen, and especially for Alzheimer's patients, after the company received accelerated approval from the US regulators for its Alzheimer's treatment. It marks the first such approval of any drug that promises to slow the progression of the disease, affecting millions of patients in the US alone. Shares of Biogen sold 38% on Monday, an indication that Wall Street expects the drug to be nothing short of a blockbuster. The Food and Drug Administration said the drug will still warrant further study to verify its clinical benefits. The company CEO said he expects Aduhelm to be available in 10 days to 2 weeks. News of the FDA approval spurred broad gains in the sector, driving the Nasdaq Biotech Index up to its highest close since April. Eli Lilly, which is also working on its own Alzheimer's treatment, jumped about 10% to a record high. Biogen will host a live webcast at 8 a.m. ET Tuesday. The news didn't do much to the overall market though. The major US indexes were muted ahead of the Labor Department's monthly inflation reading coming up on Thursday. The Nasdaq ended the day up about 0.5%. The S&P 500 was down and the Dow was also down slightly. Other outperformers on Monday included QTS Realty Trust, which closed up 21% after Blackstone Group struck a roughly $6.7 billion deal to buy the data center provider and take it private. This is according to the Wall Street Journal. In the bond market, the yield on the 10-year note settled at 1.57, up from about 1.55 on Friday. More on the global minimum tax rate that we spoke about yesterday. A 15% global minimum corporate tax rate would be a very significant step forward that leaves countries enough margin to compete, is what the OECD Secretary General remarked. The comments from the new Secretary General at the OECD, which is running global talks on the topic, come after the Group of Seven struck a deal of a rate of at least 15%. Some countries, including France, said they would still push for a higher floor. It's important we strike the right balance, is the comments that we got from there. If we are able to achieve a circumstance where all multinational companies operating globally are required to pay at least 15% on their profit, I think it's a very significant step forward, is what was some of the other comments. Global officials are crafting the international tax plan to make sure Amazon is included, even though it is estimated 7.1 profit margin is below the proposed 10% trigger that will give other countries to rights to collect the revenue. Details are still being discussed though, but plans could include setting a threshold that targets Amazon's more profitable cloud computing business. A couple of weeks ago, I touched upon the reverse repo facility and how it is getting oversubscribed. The demand for the key Federal Reserve facility used to help control short-term rate surge to the highest on record, accommodating a barrage of cash in search of a home. 46 participants on Monday parked a total of about 486 billion at the overnight reverse repurchase facility, in which counterparties like money market funds can place cash with the central bank. That surpassed the previous volume of about 485 billion from May 27 and was an increase from the 483 billion on Friday. Even though the offering rate on the Fed facility is actually 0%, demand has been increasing as the flood of cash overwhelms the US dollar funding markets. The money should keep rolling in given the regular inflows of principal and interest payments from the government-sponsored enterprises, as well as banks trimming back their balance sheets for regulatory purposes ahead of the quarter end, is what some analysis is pointing to. Lastly, MicroStrategy will hold its first ever junk bond sale to buy Bitcoin. The software company will borrow 400 million to finance the crypto purchase in a private placement that's 23 million higher than its entire operating cash flow since 2016. It's also taken an almost 285 million charge on its next earnings report thanks to losses in its existing Bitcoin holdings, more than its cumulative earnings since 2011. it's already issued convertible bonds around 1 billion in its quest to scoop up more of these coins. This news just blew me away. I couldn't think of how to react to this because it's just a pointer towards how frothy the crypto space is at this moment. That is the update. Stay safe and healthy, and I'll speak to you tomorrow.